Mhm.
That was one reason I thought we should eat this today was a cooler day.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Bronson.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh, he's here.
We'll give it a couple more minutes for people to log on.
Sure.
Welcome everyone. Thanks for being so prompt.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
My dogs are loud.
And two of our singers are here, so hello.
Good.
I might switch my account so that I can mute people that don't mute themselves. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. We'll give it about like 1 or 2 more minutes. I also want to make sure all the singers are here.
Sure.
Oh, I think we almost have all our singers. Let's see. 1, 2,
Oh, great.
4. This is, I think.
My friend has signed up, but she said that she wasn't going to be able to make it today, so she wasn't able to be here.
Okay, thank you. We're just missing Micah, I think. But thank you everyone for being so prompt. We appreciate it. I'm just gonna give it 1 more minute.
It's something that every time I think about.
Okay, let's see. Just want to make sure she didn't email me. No. Okay. Oh, there's 2. Hold on. Let's see.
Mommy, then you can't hear.
Hi, everyone that's just joining. We're just waiting because there's one other person that's supposed to sing tonight, and I want to make sure that this person gets on the call. But we're going to start very shortly. Oh, here we go. I think they just emailed me. Okay, 1 sec. Sorry, guys.
Excellent photo, Jenna. Excellent photo.
I thought you'd see that one. It's also back there.
How fun.
Bronson, I have to ask, are you cutting your own hair? Because it is flawless, and I'm trying to figure out how you have gotten such a good quarantine cut.
Thank you very much. Yes, I have. It's been a learning curve. I started just trimming it, and then I was like, who's going to see me? I might as well go for it. And if I mess up, I'll wear a hat.
There you go.
So I just kept going, and, here we are.
I second. It looks great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I may never go to the barber again. Who knows?
All right, I think we're going to get started. I just sent the person that is not here yet that's singing tonight the link, so hopefully we'll jump on shortly. All right, so welcome everyone.
We're working, right?
What'd you say?
They can still come in as we're working, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so welcome everyone. My name is Taylor Zansberg. I'm the digital marketing manager at DPAC, and we're so excited to have you all tonight. I'll give a little brief intro of Bronson, and then we'll jump into things. So for those that don't know, Bronson is known for premiering the role of the Phantom in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Love Never Dies, The Phantom Returns. He's a very versatile singer and actor who has been on stages from Broadway to Japan and nearly every state in the nation. So we're really excited to have him here tonight. And I am going to spotlight your video for right now.
Well, that made me very
and then I'm going to check if the other person came on. Hold on, let's see. Sorry. Okay. All right, so we're going to get started. So we're going to have 5 people singing this evening, and then Bronson will give them notes, and then we're going to open it up for Q&A at the end. So if you have questions at all during, just comment them in the chat box, and then at the end we'll do our best to get them answered. We're really excited to have you guys. Okay, so we're going to start with, let's see. Stefan, do you want to start? Okay.
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, so I will spotlight your video. And then everyone that's not muted, mute yourselves, please.
Awesome. So I will be doing a cut from Music of the Night, like the very end after the big note. I figured this could be more of like you and I working the material, the physicality, those kind of things, like hitting that big note. That's something to work towards, like in-depth vocal coach over time. I wanted more of just like the meat and potatoes of it. If that
I think that's very smart. Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to everyone that's here?
Yes.
And, tell us what drew you to this song.
Absolutely. So I'm an actor, performer living here in the city. I'm also a kickboxing instructor. If any of you guys are looking to get fit, let me know. And I went to New York Film Academy. That's how I met Bronson. Wonderful professor. He was my music theory and audition coach for a semester. And I've always loved Phantom. It was one of the first musicals that I ever listened to that I really made me fall in love with this world. Kind of pulled me into it. And when I found out that, Bronson had played this character, it was a no-brainer that I wanted to work this as much with him as humanly possible. So this is something that I love doing, that I always want to continue getting better at. And how better to do that than with the people who have done it, period, and just people who are better than you are. So that's why I always am looking for the next thing.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know about better than you are, but maybe have done different things than you have. How about
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Very good. All right, go ahead and sing.
Awesome. So a cappella, we're just going to jump right in here.
Oh, sure.
Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation. Let the dream begin, let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the night. You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the night.
Oh, bravo. Good for you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Guys, come on.
So this, I love since you're doing it a cappella, you cut that interlude right before the last phrase, which I wish was in every production of this show. I just sang this song in Unmasked at Paper Mill Playhouse. It was in that show, which is how I know it. And that interlude, after 2.5 minutes of this gargantuan song, that interlude is the most eggy thing in musical theater if you're not playing the Phantom and doing his stuff right there.
Right.
I was literally directed to just stand and deliver the text. So that whole interlude, which is, I'm looking at the music, is 6 bars.
Yeah.
Is eternal. So I wish that cut stayed. Very, very good job. So you started at Floating Falling.
Yes.
Let's actually work backwards for a second. So,
Okay.
After that eternal interlude, which has now been cut, you alone can make my song take flight. I've got, let's see, what key is this again? Oh yeah, it should. Can you start there again? You alone.
You alone can make my song take flight.
Good. Now, oftentimes I will tell singers that everything has been given to you and you just interpret it. And here,
Yes.
I think, is a moment that Andrew has written con la voce, which means with the voice. So
Right.
you're in charge. So try that melodic line, you alone, in a different phrase. Any phrasing you want that's different from what you just did. Have a different thought, take a different action, if you will.
Okay. You alone can make my song take flight.
So what was your thought there?
It's literally like focusing on the other, like you and you alone. That's the only thing that is going to give this the tangibility that it needs to become something.
Good. I like how you kind of put, not parentheses in that it's an afterthought, but like you bolded, if you will. You bold fonted the word you. And I like,
Yes.
I think after the word you, make sure she knows it's all about her. Tell her what she can do in one thought. Try that again, bolding the word you, and tell her the rest of the line in one thought. Still using the healthy voice that you used the first time.
Okay. You alone can make my song take flight.
Keep going.
Help me make the music of the...
Good. I won't make could do that right now. So I like you alone. Can you put a glottal? I realize you can't speak.
Alone.
A glottal attack. I think that's a terrible term for it because we shouldn't attack anything in the voice. But a glottal attack, a glottal start, is when your vocal folds kind of slam together. It's not dangerous.
Right.
When they come together very harshly before a vowel sound, which isn't normal. Usually you would start a vowel with air. So you might do you, where the ya makes the vowel. I want you, since we're putting the U in bold point, to give me a glottal on the alone. So
Okay.
You alone, and that will make the word you stand out even further.
Okay.
Oh wait, I'm not finished.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry. You alone can. Where's the verb? Go for the verb and make music out of the verb. Help, right?
Okay.
Sorry, you alone can make my song take flight. Help me. That's where I'm getting. Help me. Make music out of the help me. That's what you need her to do. So that doesn't have a bold as in the you does, but it's more important than my song or my take flight.
Okay.
Help me do all the things that I need to do, right?
Okay.
So now do that phrase again.
Awesome.
You need pitch or you good?
Alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the...
Good, and before you finish, just from experience, you will want to slow down the phrase, help me make the, on the word the, we really go rubato. The music of, because the orchestra has nothing under you. I'm looking at the score, they have 2 half notes. Once you hit the word music, which has to line up with the conductor, music of the is all on you, as is the caesura, which in musical terms means silence, so there's a break. Music of the, as long as you want, right? So the music of the becomes really pretty slow.
Okay.
Caesura is the biggest, deepest, fattest, roundest breath you can take, thinking forward placement high in your forehead for this last middle of the voice, C sharp, which has to be floated. How dare Andrew Lloyd Webber do that to us? So that last line, just to review, is help me make, then the is leaning towards the time you're going to. Help me make, I take a breath there, you can choose. Slow it down here. Everybody cuts off. The audience is sitting on the edge of their seats. You're prepping, and then you sing. Okay?
Beautiful.
Let's see. You alone. There we go.
You alone can make my song take flight. Help me make the music of the night.
Good. We'll just pretend you can hold that for 3 days, which I'm sure you
All
can.
day. What's up?
Can you make that night, in terms of quality of sound, brighter? Instead of more hushed and whispered, make it smaller in volume but brighter in sound so that it pierces through the audience instead of wrapping a sound around them.
Okay.
You know what I mean by that?
Yeah,
So,
like when I think bright, I think of like a short, narrow sound as opposed to the tall, dark, operatic.
Yeah, I like that. And if I was teaching you in person and we were working on this long term, I would say even pencil thin but tall.
Yeah.
So, no. So it's a really small sound,
Okay.
but it's full of air and it's resonant.
Okay.
So that's just a note to do next time. I think help me can have a more impassioned plea to it.
Okay. Okay.
It's not spoken because we don't speak Andrew's music, but it's help me. There's a lot of H, there's a lot of exasperation.
Yes.
Okay, now let's back up even further. And Taylor, you're going to help keep me on time because I love this music and I get long-winded, but I can't spend an hour and a half on one person, which I would. Where did you start?
Floating.
Floating, yes. So what did we just come out of?
Be only then can you belong to me.
Oh yes, there it is. Oh, I see it. So, E sharp. Okay. dee da. Gosh, those low notes are low, aren't they? Okay, go ahead. Go right ahead.
Floating, falling, sweet intoxication. Touch me, trust me, savor each sensation.
Good. Let's work
Let
the 4 bars. Yeah.
yes, yes,
You
please.
can interrupt us. That's me. So
I'm giving you guys 3 more minutes, just 3-minute warning.
Thank you, 3.
We'll get through these 4 bars and we'll put it all together and see what we got. So
Cool.
I think here you've got such a beautiful tone, and I'd give
Thank you.
anything to have, what is that? A low G sharp. Mine ended up coming out floating, falling. But one thing I do know, even though I can't really hit the G sharps, I do know those are 2 separate words and they're not one musical idea. So it's different things your music is doing to her.
Okay.
Right? You're floating, you're falling, there's sweet intoxication. So there's 3 ideas there.
Yes.
Yeah, you can separate those with a little, what my college choir director would call a Luftpause, and that's exactly how he would say it. Just a lift pause. And then same thing with touch me. Touch me, I think, in every iteration of this show, touch me is very sexual in nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
Feel me. There's a physical attraction from him to her. And then, but not to be put off with how aggressive that was, trust me too, right? So touch me, give me the physical aggression of the phantom, and then trust me is I can be a really good person. And then savoring each sensation. There's a lot of alliterative S in that, and I think you can give us that too. Now,
beautiful.
Whether we run out of 3 minutes or not, let's finish this phrase. So go back to floating, falling.
About 1 minute, you're good.
Okay. Floating, falling.
More of a break. I'm sorry.
More of a break? Okay.
Floating. Because again, the orchestra has half notes. They follow you.
Beautiful. Oh, I love that. I love being in charge like that. That's so nice.
Yeah, you are in charge, man. You're the phantom.
Floating, falling, sweet intoxication.
Demand.
Touch me, trust me.
Yes.
Savor each sensation.
Command.
Let the dream begin. Let your darkest side give in.
One phrase.
To
yeah.
the
That's hard, isn't it?
power of the music that I write. The power of the music of the night.
Good for you. Okay, since we already did the ending, one more note. One more little note. I was interrupting you there. What I have is measure 53. Let your darker side give in to the power of the music of the night is something everyone sings wrong. So since you're here with me, I'm going to tell you that the phrase is, let your darker side give in to the power of the music that I write, not let your darker side give in. A new thought, to the power, right? It's into the power. So
Love
keep that on breath, which means that lift before, let the dreams begin, let your darker side give in to the power, right? That's one. So the lift before is the big breath.
Love that.
Okay. I think that's the time. Excellent, excellent work. And that's going to be stunning with an orchestra under it. So everything we've done so far, and probably everything we'll do this whole hour and a half, is almost always going to be text driven. Yeah.
Yes.
Commas mean breaks.
Yes.
Commas mean breaks. Great job, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, guys.
You're welcome.
That was awesome. Thank you. So next up we have Micah, and I'm going to spotlight her video. Okay.
Hi, Micah.
Hello. Hi.
So you're singing Memory?
Yes.
Great. Another show I've done, but a role I haven't played, but I do have that music in front of me too. So, are you singing a certain part of it, or are you going to do the whole thing for us?
It's towards the end. Out ends of smoky days to the end.
Smart girl. Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Or wait,
Hey,
no, it starts with the section. It starts with the section before that. Sorry.
That's okay. Introduce yourself to us. I get excited about the music and I forget we're all humans here. I don't know you. Tell me about
Oh.
yourself.
Yes, hi. I'm Micah. I have been doing community theater for 4 years. But I really liked musicals when I was little. I've been taking voice lessons for a lot longer than I've actually been doing theater, and this was one of the first songs I worked on when I was not qualified to be working on it, but I liked it anyway. So I feel like I've gotten better at doing it since then, but we'll see.
All right, good. Well, I love that you love it. Let me hear it. Let us hear it.
Okay. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin. Burnt out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning, the street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning. Touch me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is. Look, a new day has begun.
Wonderful. Immediately when you sang Touch Me, it reminded me of Betty Buckley. Please tell me you know who that is. Oh, good, you do. Good, wonderful job. How old were you? When did you say you first started singing this?
Oh gosh. I was probably 12 or 13, but like I said, I was not qualified to be singing it at the time. Like, we changed some things. We took out the key change, so the big part was like a half step lower.
Oh,
but
okay.
It was fun. So I did sing it, oh gosh, 2 years ago because my grandpa really loved it for his like big surprise 80th birthday party that we did. So that was fun.
Oh, how nice. Oh, good. Yeah. Okay. So remind me the lyric you started on, because my lyrics were a little different. I couldn't find your exact starting point, but it doesn't matter. We're going to do what you were doing.
Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise.
Good. So do you know what's going on in the show here, right? Or
yes, I've seen
it. With a different circumstance?
Yeah. I've seen the show. So yes. Cool.
So what does the poetry mean behind daylight, I must wait for the sunrise, on and on?
I think at this point it's a very melancholy, like I can still see a beautiful ending, but it's not here yet and I don't know how it's going to happen, kind of.
Yeah, I like that very much. How can we musicalize that thought that you just so eloquently painted for us? How can we musicalize that in the voice? And I'll give you a hint. It's something we just did with Music of the Night.
Oh gosh. I was not prepared.
Were you listening or were you nervous about it? Yeah, that's okay. So I think Andrew's music, and the reason I wanted to do an all Andrew Lloyd Webber themed masterclass is because it's the music I love. It's the music that has kept me employed. It's music I just love to perform, and it's just such good music for singers. And I think he writes big shows about big people for big voices. And you can absolutely, I mean, you may be a little age inappropriate right now in a professional theater, but if your high school did this show or your upcoming, community theaters did it, you could absolutely sing this role. There's no pre-qualifications for it. You've got this. As long as you tap into what the music is demanding of you. So daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. Can you sing that for me again? Sing that phrase and go on and I'll stop you.
Okay. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in.
Good. Now, I think that is wonderful, but I'm watching it at like 1.4 times the speed it should be. Does that make sense? It's not a fast tempo, but the phrasing you're using is too quick for the show and for the circumstance. So
Okay.
The idea is we're not going to come at it from a, let's fix the tempo, right? We're going to come at it from an actor's point of view because that's what we have control of. Our music director may want it at that tempo, but you have to make it make sense. So pronounce the thing that you want, which is daylight and the promise of tomorrow, right? So pronounce that and then come to the realization that you can't have it right now. So tell me what you want, have a thought, and then let me know that it's not happening right now, musically. How would that sound?
Okay. Do you want me to do it again?
Yeah, just those two phrases, daylight, I must wait for the sunrise.
Okay.
In the vein of pronounce what you want, have a thought, tell the audience, tell yourself, tell us that you have to wait for what's good.
Okay. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise.
Stop right there.
Think.
Stop right there. That was stunning. That was so infused with life, breath, character, honesty, resonance. It wasn't a recitation of the notes that were on the page. It wasn't even what I was expecting out of you from what I'd said. So whatever you just thought there, that stays in.
Okay, thank you.
That, yeah? So we're gonna do that again and we're gonna keep going. So
Okay,
try to recreate exactly what you just did, just reinvent the thought for yourself.
okay.
Okay.
Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life, and I mustn't give in.
Good, so here I'm gonna warn you, now this is more of a technical thing. Set an internal ticker for yourself that's a little slower than you might want, because the first phrase was so musically beautiful. Daylight, I must wait for the sun. And then right on the word rise, the tempo got faster and we went forward, yeah? So think long and easy, and I'll conduct you. How about that? Can you watch your computer and sing at the same time, or is that really confusing? Oh, I'm probably lagging.
No, sure, I can.
I'm probably lagging behind you though. Let's try it. I don't know what it's
Okay.
called. So we're gonna do exact, but sunrise, I'm a dee da dum dee.
Okay.
Keep it all right out there, whether you're watching me or not.
Where do you want me to start? Back at the beginning?
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Daylight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of a new life.
Yes.
And I mustn't give in.
Come on now, yes.
When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too.
Good, that's a good thought, right?
Yeah.
I saw a lot of dejection in that thought, but it's actually a good thought. When tomorrow comes and I get everything I want, tonight will just be a memory. I'll be past it, right? So keep.
Yeah.
I loved the uplifting kind of positivity when the dawn comes.
Okay.
And it turned the other way. That's all one thought. When the dawn comes, tonight will just be a memory that I never have to live again. This dejection will never happen to me again. So how about when the dawn comes?
Okay. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too.
Take your time.
And a new day.
Feel a positive thought. Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I like you to keep going when I talk. Sometimes I want you to stop. We're figuring this out. That was really lovely. And I want you to keep the same thought going, because still, when the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too. And the, what's the word?
A new day will begin.
And a new day will begin. And I'll tell you another thing that Andrew's kind of resident music supervisor all across the country would say is the word new and vowel sounds like it are what we call a liquid U. So it's not a new day, but a new day. Do you hear the difference in those? There's a Y sound in the new. Can you sing that for me?
Okay.
Let me do it. It's just a prettier sound on Andrew's ear, and it's just what he likes to hear. So if you ever audition for him, there you go. So a new day will begin.
Okay.
When the dawn comes, go from there. Keep your positive energy, positive thoughts.
Okay. When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too.
Good. Pause. Want to fix one little thing.
Okay.
Tonight instead of tonight.
Okay.
While it's tonight is not too proper, as if it mattered. You're playing a cat, but words don't sing as well when we clip unstressed vowels. So tonight will be a memory too. Tonight will, it sings better with the long vowel. Okay.
Okay. Do you want me to go back from there again?
Yes.
When the dawn comes, tonight will be a memory too, and a new day will begin.
Yes, beautiful. Really, really stunning. Okay, skip on. Keep going.
Okay.
Forward.
Okay.
You've got all that in your head?
Yeah.
That's all in there. Yeah, you're really quick.
Burnt out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning. The street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning.
Good. Let's talk about this one little section because it is musically one of my favorite things Andrew's ever written. Because in its proper show key, it makes the woman who's about to belt, I think, a D flat, sing in the basement, which I love. But what are you saying? What's the text of this phrase? Just speak it.
I sort of interpreted it as.
Don't interpret it. Just say it.
Oh.
Just recite the poetry.
Burnt out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning. The street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning.
Good. So what's your impression of that now? Tell me how you interpret that.
The first line, I'm a little less sure about, to be honest. But after that, I sort of see it as these nights that she has to spend alone are the worst, but we're still on this train of thought that maybe tomorrow will be better, so another day is still coming.
Yes, you're a smart girl. There's such an easy hole to fall into with this part because you're saying like words like burnt and die and stale and cold, right? Those are not pretty words, but they all apply. They all apply to night ending and tomorrow coming, which is, as you say, a positive aspiration, a positive thought. If I can just make it until tomorrow. So I think the overall thought of that phrase can't be anything like burnt out ends and street lamps die and things like that. They're observations of the night leaving you, which doesn't mean you sing them with a smile on your face. It's just report the news. Tell me there was a car crash. Tell me that, taxes are due, whatever it is. It's not good news, it's just facts, right? So tell me about those things. And then on the last line, burnout ends of smoky days, street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning. Is it dawning again?
Yes.
That line, reading up to another day is dawning, that is, and I'm going to come through my computer and get it. Okay? So you're reporting the facts.
Yeah.
And then you go after the thing that you want, which delivers us to touch me, right?
Yeah.
That's how we earn that. If we sing sad, depressed kitty, and then we belt high D flats, we're like, oh, she's got a lovely voice. Otherwise, we're like, I believe her and I feel things for her. I have feelings I'm supposed to have because you're delivering the goods. Okay?
Do you want me to do that whole section again then?
Yeah, start at burnt out.
We're gonna wrap up after this, just warning time.
Okay.
We're doing great.
All the way through the end?
Just go through, keep going until I stop you. I'll wave like this if I want you to stop.
Okay. burnt out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning.
Wait a minute. So at the risk of going over time, don't lose what we're working on. See, that was super fast. The train left the station and we didn't get anything, right?
Sorry.
So don't think about time, you needing to get done faster, because the work we do is be good work. So we're going burnt out and that's our tempo, and we're just seeing the things and saying what they are. We don't have an opinion of them.
Okay.
Except that it's working towards the thing that we want. Okay?
Burnt out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning.
See it?
The street lamp dies, another night is over, another day is dawning.
Da, 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 da,
But
da.
me, it's so easy to leave me all alone with the memory of my days in the sun. If you touch me, you'll understand what happiness is.
Take your time.
Look, a new day has begun.
Yes, great. And I guarantee you, everyone listening to that, excuse me, everyone listening to that was like, I'm so glad she made it until tomorrow, right? We feel the thing we're supposed to feel when you deliver it that way. One vocal thing, and then we'll move on to, you won't have to do it again, but when you get to touch me, it's so easy to leave me. Everyone thinks touch me is the hard part. It's easy, that is the hard part, right? Easy to leave me. If you can think about that sound in a cone, you know, like a wider the backside and super thin and pointed at the front. It's so easy. So it's going to sound thin and narrow instead of easy. That's wide. Easy. That's the sound you want there. Okay. So think silver thread of sound, small sounds. Like I was telling Stephen, that when small sounds are placed in the proper resonance, they become big sounds without effort. Okay?
Right.
That's how we get through 8 shows a week.
Okay.
All right. Good job, Micah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, next up, let me make sure, it's going to be Joe. Okay, I'm going to spotlight your video. All right. And...
Hi.
Hi, Joe.
Hi, yes, I'm Joe, as you just referred to me as. Thank you. To everybody else in this group, as I just say for my 3rd time, I'm Joe. And I've been pretty much doing musical theater, well, not musical theater, but community theater in general since I was like 10 years old, but I didn't start, I'm 32 now, and I didn't start singing though until actually, to phrase it up even further, I've been singing my whole life. I just didn't know that I could really do it until I was like, I don't know, say like 15 or 16, so, or whatever. But I've been singing since I came out of the womb pretty much. Yeah, and I saw Bronson in Love Never Dies in Connecticut, I believe it was, and I was really, really upset that I couldn't go to the stage door because I had to catch a ride. However, my wife got lucky enough and she actually got to meet him at a flea market. I was like, crud, where was I? And so, yeah, so I mean, she got her shot. So, and then finally to finish this off, this is probably like I think this is my 3rd Masterclass that I've ever done. My first 2 were with, if any of you have heard of these people, Christy Cates from Wicked and Adam Pascal from Rent. So now Bronson here. So anyways, so that's my background and everything. So, yeah. Oh, and by the way, Bronson, my very, very good friend from Norway, Martine, she signed up for this, but she couldn't make it. She wanted me to say hi. So,
Hi. Tell her I said hi. So I heard that you're going to sing Till I Hear You Sing?
That's right. Yes, I was originally going to sing Music of the Night as well, but thanks to somebody else in this group named Christine, she actually said, you need to sing something lesser known or whatever, not something so popular. So, all right.
So where are you going to start?
I'm going to sing this a cappella. Yep. And, okay. All right.
You're going to sing, hey, Joe, are you going to sing the whole thing? Or are you going to sing it?
I'm just going to go from the beginning, up to,
Well, just do it.
yeah, I'll just do it. What the hell? Okay. Okay. The day starts, the day ends, time crawls by. Night steals in, pacing the floor. The moments creep, yet I can't bear to sleep till I hear you sing. And weeks pass and months pass, seasons fly. Still you don't walk through the door. And in a haze, I count the silent days till I hear you sing once more. And sometimes at nighttime, I dream that you are there, but wake holding nothing but the empty air.
Beautiful, Joe. Wonderful, wonderful. Have you sung this for an audience before?
I have actually, yes. Actually, it's become one, I should say. I've got at least two, Music of the Night and this pretty much has become one of my theme songs. I guess everybody wants me to sing it, so yeah.
I feel ya. I feel ya. Great, great job. So I love this opening so much. You know, in the show proper, you saw it. The show starts with these crazy organ sounds and the phantom singing in the lowest register possible for a tenor or baritone, and then everything hushes. We have a if we were in a classroom together, I would say, raise your hand if you remember what silence in music is called, and you would all raise your hands and you would all say, Seshura, and I would say, yes, good, I'm a good teacher. And then we have a cappella, out of nowhere, you pull this low C, the day, right? So again, as with many of Andrew's best songs, it's all up to you, isn't it? It was all up to you.
It seems like that.
In Music of the Night, it was all up to Micah and memory. Now it's all up to you. So one thing I'll warn you about, and I had to learn this when I was on the Cats tour, is that you have to be just as good a conductor as the conductor. So what that means,
I like to hear that.
Yeah, so what that means is, I believe, I don't have the sheet music in front of me for this, but I believe the first pitch is a C, and it's a quarter note, and then we jump to a half note. So the C is on beat 4, and if you give that C to F the proper amount of time, you'll set the tempo for the whole song. So the thing you want to guard against is doing something like the day start, which feels more colloquial, which feels more like you're speaking, which a lot of singing actors want to feel like they're speaking, which is not a bad thing, except when it disserves the music. So be sure that when you start, we hear a full quarter note, nothing more, nothing less, just the day starts, right? So that's one, yes. And make sure that the word the vowel is, I will say, higher than flat. So there's two ways to say the word the days, or the day. So I'm really saying the, aren't I? And I'm singing it not from here under, like the, even though that's the same pitch, I'm singing it over my hard palate, over my soft palate, the day, right? So when I started again incorporating a full quarter note and a taller the vowel for the day start.
And I will just say this before I begin, so that everybody knows this or whatever, and specifically you, Bronson, so you know, I am on the spectrum. So if I do get a hard time with this, you know why.
Okay. Very good to know.
Yeah, my disability just makes it a little difficult.
Well,
So,
not-
okay.
Oh, yeah, you're doing a fantastic job, Joe.
God bless, man. Okay. All right. So more like the or whatever instead of the?
Like the T-H-A-H, the.
Oh, okay. All right. The day starts, the day ends.
Good. So do the word the same way both times. Instead of
Oh, okay, yeah.
the day, every time you say the word the, it's going to be the.
Okay.
And it doesn't sound fake. You can ask anyone.
The day starts, the day ends, time crawls by.
Good. One more thought. Now, beautifully musical that time. Now I'm going to give you the power to lead the orchestra in that when we say these 3 lines, they're over 3 bars, but we get to tell the audience how much time goes by. So we can't do the day starts, the day ends, because there was nothing between, right? So we want to hear the day starts.
So basically more flowy?
I think when you're singing, it's more flowy, but the whole day has to go by between the 2 phrases, right?
Okay.
Time-wise.
All right.
Starts. It was an awful day. The day ends. It was an awful day. Time crawls by.
Oh, okay. All right. I think I
Painting
can
a picture of a full day ticking by. In the next verse, you're going to get to weeks, and then you're going to get to months, and then you're going to get to years. It just keeps compounding, doesn't it?
And it keeps going. Right. Okay. The day starts, the day ends, time crawls by, night steals in, pacing the floor.
Good. So I will encourage you one more time. Don't be afraid to take breaks between the first 3 phrases. The day starts, take a break, have a new thought, take a breath. The day ends, take a break, have a new thought. Time crawls by.
Between the day starts and the day ends, between those 2?
And the next 2.
Oh,
And
okay.
more time crawls by. Yeah?
Okay.
So you have big breaks there. The orchestra will follow you. And then music, or vocally, I think the next line, night steals in, pacing off. Floor is spelled with 2 O's, but it's sung with an A and an H.
Yes.
So, night steals in, pacing off. Is it pacing the floor? Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Yes.
The floor. Right, your lips are saying ooh, inside is saying ah. Ah. Right?
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
It helps the vowel sing. So then we don't get floor, but we get floor. The same thing later when you say walk through my door, the AHR instead of
The OHR sound. Yeah, gotcha.
Polar vowels are always going to sing better than closed off and clamped down vowels. Yeah.
Right. Open up that mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, open up the inside of your mouth. The outside of it doesn't have to be, walk through my door. It doesn't have to be that. It can be door, it can be closed, but the inside has to be tall. Why don't you go back to Night Steals In?
Night Steals In. Okay.
We have a couple more minutes just so you guys know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. That went quick. Night steals in, pacing the floor, and in a haze I count the silent days till I hear you sing. Okay, I sang the wrong lyrics by accident.
But
Yeah.
let's talk about, no, that's totally fine. Let's talk about those lyrics because they're trickier than the other ones anyways. So what did you just sing? And in a haze.
I just said, but I accidentally said, and in a haze, I count the silent days.
Which are very valid lyrics. They're just a little later, but let's talk about those for a second. So when you, you'll know. And in a haze, that's a confusing state of mind, isn't it? And in a haze, a place I don't like to be, and in a haze, I count. Count is a verb, so we want to lay into it a little bit. I count the silent days that make me want to grit my teeth because you're not here with me. My muse is not here with me, right? So in a haze, I count the silent days until relief comes, until I hear you sing once more, right? Make it about her. Make it about your own misery until the things can be turned around, until I hear you sing once more. So sing those lyrics again. And in a haze, I count the silent, awful days till I hear you sing once more.
And in a haze, I count the silent days till I hear you sing.
Don't give up on you. You is not a short word. You is a big word.
Oh, so basically hold that a little bit long.
Yeah, and more weight on it. Till I hear you sing. It's not anything. I don't want to hear my cat sing, right? I want to hear you sing.
Right. Okay.
Same thing.
All right. And in a haze, I count the silent days till I hear you sing once more.
Good, Joe. Good. And that, I think, is what we talk about when we talk about communication in singing.
Mm-hmm.
You started out singing, the right notes and the right rhythms and singing the song as Andrew wrote it on paper. What Andrew doesn't have is the ability to communicate those lyrics. That's the ability you have, and that's why he hires you, because you can bring it to life. So if you just sing, till I hear you sing once more, the operative word is sing, which is a very important word, but it's more important that it's you singing, right? And that's something you can't write on paper.
Less on the sing, yeah.
Right. And one thing about diction, make sure, and this just goes from my knowledge of working in Andrew's world here in the US, T, the letter T and the letter D are the same sound. One is dentalized and one is aspirative or on the outside of your teeth, right? D happens inside your mouth and you can you can voice it, and a T is aspirative, you cannot voice it. When you put them together like silent days, it's difficult, but we need to hear both T and D so we don't get silent days or silent tays, right? So you have to do silent days, right? So make sure we get a D or T and then a D in that.
T and D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we go back and do in a haze, count silent days till I hear you sing once more.
Aye, aye. And in a haze, I count the silent days till I hear you sing once more.
Keep going. Very, very good. I think everybody here would be giving you a round of applause if we didn't have our mute button. What's next?
Thank you.
Next person?
Or is it time?
Yeah.
Oh, it is time. Okay, great job,
Great
Joe.
job, Joe.
Bronson, God bless, man. Thank you.
Thanks. Tell your wife I said hi.
I will.
Next up, we have Ellie. Let me find her and spotlight her. All right. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, Ellie.
Hi.
Hi. Tell me who you are, where you are, and what drew you to your song.
So I'm Ellie. I'm from New Jersey, and I was introduced to the magical world of Broadway by Andrew Lloyd Webber when I first saw Cats a few years ago, and then that drew me into Phantom. And I picked Wishing You Were Somehow Here Today because that's just such a heartfelt song, and it gets me every time. It makes me cry, honestly.
I know. One of the most gorgeous orchestrations ever, especially in Andrew's music. Okay, so where are you starting?
So I'm singing the first 3 verses, and then I'm jumping to the end. That's okay.
Yeah. We may not have time to do it all, but start where you want to start, and then when I have an idea, I'll jump in and stop, okay? Did we lose you?
Connected?
Did you hear her?
I heard little bits, and then it felt like it fast forwarded. Did you?
Okay. I don't know what happened, but we didn't hear you.
Can you try it again?
Sorry, yeah.
That's okay.
I know my internet's not the best. Sorry about that.
Okay, I thought I kept looking at everybody else to see if everybody was moving, if it was my internet, and I was like, I don't hear anything.
Yeah. Okay. You were once my one companion. You were all that mattered. You were once a friend and father, and my world was shattered. Wishing you were somehow here again. Wishing you were somehow near. Sometimes it seemed if I just dreamed, somehow you would be near. Wishing I could hear your voice again, knowing that I never would. Dreaming of you won't help me to do all that you dreamed I could. No more memories, no more silent tears. No more gazing across the wasted years. Help me say goodbye. Help me say goodbye.
Brava, brava. Beautiful. Ellie, my goodness. You're only in New Jersey. You could just pop over here and help us out at Phantom on Broadway anytime, couldn't you?
Thank you.
I guess there's a lot more to learn than just this one song, though. Okay, let's go to, actually, can we start this conversation at wishing I could hear your voice again, which I think you consider the second verse? Is that the second verse to you?
It's the third one.
Third, okay, great. They're not numbered in my Bible, so I don't know what they are. Wishing I could hear your voice again. Again, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but here I hear a verb and the object of that verb, and I want you to sing them so that they're clearer to me. Wishing I could hear your voice again, right? These ideas of phrasing come from the natural flow of the text. If I wished I could hear your voice again. Any way you want to say it, you can also sing it. The only way you can't sing it is wishing I could hear your voice again, which is not what you did. I'm exaggerating 100%, right? But I think you can make more music, and I think you can make more text sense out of this. So have a thought before you sing. Think of somebody who you haven't seen in a long time, one of your friends maybe that you've been separated from, and tell them, I really wish we could hang out in person right now. And sing this line with them in your head, wishing I could hang out with you on my sofa and play video games. Same thing. Sorry, if you hear sirens, sorry, I live right on Broadway and it's just a very busy street.
Wishing I could hear your
beautiful. Now, I wonder, here's another technical thought. Whether you're looking at the music or not, or maybe you don't even know this, Dreaming of You Won't Help Me to Do. Those are a series of what's called triplets, right? And in music, where you put 3 words or 3 notes in the space of 2 beats, where you normally have dreaming of you, they've got dreaming of you, 3 words in 2 beats, that's called a triplet. When you sing these, put emphasis on the second one of those, even though it may not make sense, as much sense text-wise. Like if I was saying dreaming of you, I wouldn't say that. But when I'm singing dreaming of you, the middle pitch of a triplet is the one that's more musically satisfying. So when you're leaning in and out of phrases, dee da dee da dee da dee da, right? The middle note of that triplet is what you want to kind of push forward in a crescendo decrescendo, or sforzando, if you will. Okay. I think your diction is absolutely superb. I think if you were in Phantom of the Opera, they would not have to hire a coach for you for that. It's just beautiful. One thing I do want to work with you on overall is the amount of air you're using as you sing. Okay, have you heard this before? You look like, oh, this old's right. Yeah.
I really need to work on that.
Yeah, so tell me what you know about breathing for singing.
So I haven't really had much experience like learning how to do it properly, but
okay.
I know I need to not let out all the air at once. I need to let out slowly.
Yeah. So for all of us playing along at home, when we sound,
He cut out now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you cut out for a second, Bronson.
He looks like he's still cut out.
Yeah, he is. I think it's just probably his internet. We'll give it a sec. The joys of Zoom. Sorry, guys.
Right.
I do love where his face kind of froze, though.
Well, you all sound great. This has been really fun. Hopefully he'll come back. I don't know what happened. I think he might be logging back on because we just lost him for a second. But great questions, guys. Thank you for all your questions. And thank you to the people that are singing. So brave. I resonated with the shaking question. I also sing, and I have shaked before when I sing.
Yeah.
Just because I sang a song from Cats, this is my inspiration. Her name is Pepper.
Aww.
She also likes to sing.
Such a beautiful voice. Absolutely beautiful.
I have a beta fish that I named Phantom for obvious reasons. And he's actually loved Phantom of the Opera music. Every time I turn it on, he's immediately like swimming around faster.
Aw, that's really cute.
My cat's name, she's not here right now, but she's really puffy and she looks like Victoria from Cats, so that's her middle name.
Aww.
Sounds like Victoria.
I'm trying to reach out to Bronson to see if I'm guessing his internet went out, which happened to me once during a masterclass, which is really fun.
No.
We'll see what happens. Maybe he can get back on his phone. In the meantime, I'm trying to keep you guys entertained. We did get a question. Do you think Deepak will do others like this or acting or others? Yes. We are working on doing more masterclasses, and I don't think I've officially announced it, but I'll let you guys know. We're going to do one next Wednesday, July 15th at 1 p.m., and it's going to be an audition workshop and overall like musical theater workshop, and the 2 people leading it will be Colt and Angelina Prates. I don't know how to say their last name, but they are in Aladdin, and they're like a power couple on Broadway. They're really awesome, and we're excited.
Is that free like this, or is it?
Yeah, it'll be free. I haven't
awesome.
posted the registration link yet, but I will be posting it shortly.
I'll definitely sign up for that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for doing all this. It's amazing.
Is it back?
Yeah.
Yes, it's back.
Yes.
There he is.
Well, that's so weird. I'm having to do it from my phone now because my house has now pretended that it doesn't have any
in the internet. So
That's what I
can
thought.
you see me? Okay.
I don't see you.
Oh, wait, no, we don't see you.
We don't
Oh,
see
well.
you.
We hear.
Oh,
Wait, did he just drop off? No, he's here.
Nope, there he is.
he's turning his camera on.
Okay.
Are we back? We're good?
We're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but I do remember what I was saying. And now that I'm on my phone, it'll probably die or something. So no, it won't. We're fine. So sorry, Ellie, to interrupt your coaching, but the gods of the internet did not smile down on my house at 8 o'clock tonight. So what I was saying was, when we make sound, we basically have air coming from our lungs up through our trachea that pass through basically two rubber bands that go from here on your Adam's apple, or, you know, girls, everybody has a thyroid notch, which is, on boys, we call it the Adam's apple, and they stretch back a little ways and they vibrate and displace the air. So basically, there is no sound, no singing without air. We must have air. And when we talk about breath support, we talk about how long or how much air is required to send your sound. Right now, I think you're working at maybe 30% of your capacity when you're singing with your air. So we need to hike that number up to like 50 or 60. So that doesn't mean making more sound, and it won't hurt your voice, and it won't do anything it won't be any responsibility of your chords. So there's no thought of like vocal damage. How do we achieve that? Well, when you breathe in, when you inhale, I want you to think of your inhale filling up lower than your lungs, filling up into your tummy. And I want you to think big and round, like you have a hula hoop around your waist as you breathe in. Not only does your tummy reach out to the hula hoop, but your sides and your back also expand as you breathe in. Yes, good. Now I saw that. The only thing I don't want to see is this. Because what we want is this getting bigger, not this getting taller. So if you're a dancer, you're going to have to unlearn a few things. Yeah? Or if you're a singer who starts dancing, you're going to have to learn a few things. Because we don't want... Yeah, we don't want height. We want girth or width, okay? So as you breathe in, you're just thinking, I want to look as plump as possible down here. And as I'm using my air, as I'm phonating, I want to push against the contraction. So naturally you would want to go, wishing you were somehow, and then you're out of breath. No, you want to think, wishing you were somehow here again. I'm keeping the walls of my stomach, my abdominals, and my back out. Okay, I'm pushing against the urge to get skinny. Okay, so with that in mind, and with the idea of the triplets landing more heavily on the second note, why don't we start from that third verse and go on from there?
Okay.
And I give you power and freedom to make sound.
Thank you. Wishing I could hear your voice again, knowing that I never would. Dreaming of you won't help me to do all that you dreamed I would.
Good, stop right there. That was so beautiful. How did that feel?
It felt so much better.
To me, it feels like, well, not my perception of what you just did, but when I've done that, when I've kind of just like what I would call marking through something safely versus really doing it, it's the difference of like going for a fast walk and running a marathon. Not that I've ever run a marathon, but I can only imagine the sense of joy and the sense of accomplishment when I finished that marathon, right? And I think that's what you just did for us. And I think that should be your baseline. I think you've got room on top of that even. Because if we were doing a private lesson at a piano and I asked you to imitate an opera singer, you would do something like this and suddenly make more sound. Well, that's still your sound. And while we won't want to affect it to make you sound like a 40-year-old woman as opposed to a 16 or 17, I don't know how to do it, a younger woman, we wouldn't want to do that, but we would want to use the principles of the resonance, the phonation, and the breath support of that. Okay, so can you do that for me one more time? Just that, and then we can go forward.
That same section?
Okay. We have about 3 minutes, just so we have time for the last singer.
Okay, and since I wasted 2 or 3 minutes, I'm fine staying longer if anybody wants to.
That's totally fine. I just wanted to be respectful of your time.
I appreciate you. I can no longer see you, but I appreciate you. Let's see. Yeah, back to where we just started. So we were at wishing I could hear your voice again.
Wishing I could hear your voice again, knowing that I never would. Dreaming of you won't help me to do
Yes.
all that you dreamed I would.
Keep going. That was gorgeous.
Memories, no more silent tears.
Good. Let's talk about that one phrase.
Yes.
Good. That was so beautiful. So I think the only thing I want to add now is when you turn around, I know you're skipping a lot and you're going to no more memories.
Yeah.
In that part of the song, she's coaching herself out of daydreaming. So I want to hear something in your voice tell you no. That doesn't mean we need to belt it, but maybe it means we bring a little more chest into the sound. So, what I do, no more. And there's a big rallentando there. That's another big fancy music word for lush, slow down. So our tempo is, no more. Then we're at tempo here. And that's what makes music so wonderful. That's why artists will never be replaced with computers, hopefully, because computers can't do that. They see zeros and ones and they stay on a beat. You have the chance to sing no more for as long as you want. Okay, so let's go. All that you dreamed I could, or whatever key you're in. I'm sorry, I might have just changed your key.
All that you dreamed I could. No more memories, no more silent tears, no more gazing across the wasted years.
Take your time. Take your time.
Help me say goodbye.
Tall vowels.
Help me say
Breathe.
goodbye.
Crescendo. Oh, yeah. So on that last one, I know I'm yelling at you. On that last one, goodbye. Crescendo, yeah? So start it smaller so you have somewhere to go. Help me say, that's your breath for a big belly breath. Goodbye. Then get bigger, bigger, bigger. Okay? The only other note I have in there, just like with Joe, where he had a T and a D, you have 2 T's that are back to back. So we need to hear silent tears. Okay? We call that crunchy diction where I'm from. Crunchy diction. Yeah?
Okay.
How do you feel? Was it fun singing like that? Oh, good. Good. I couldn't really tell from your face. It's like, have I scared her to death? You did a great job, Ellie.
It's amazing. Thank you so much.
Good. Thank you. Great job.
Just kidding. Are we ready to go to the next person?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, we have Brittany next. Brittany, I think, is on the West Coast.
I am. Okay. I'm in LA.
Hey, LA, I'm coming your way. No, I'm not, but that's a great lyric from a great show.
Hi, everyone.
Get my hopes up.
So I'm still seeing Ellie. Is that my bad, or is that something Taylor can fix? It's probably my bad. Oh, wait. Oh, now I see her. Okay, I'll just touch her face. There we go. Hi, Brittany.
Thank you so much for doing this class. I'm learning so much just watching and listening to everybody else.
Oh, I'm so glad.
I'm, as I mentioned, I'm here in LA, and I am a singer actress. I started doing theater when I was in college, so I started a little bit later. And the first production, I did opera in community college, and then when I got to university, did a little bit more opera, and then I think the first musical theater show I did was, why am I forgetting right now? Fiddler.
Fiddler, sure.
I played Frumacera, and it was so much fun.
So you've got I'm imagining just from your background that you have a pretty big voice, huh?
Well, maybe, I don't know.
It's not boastful to say your voice is big.
But yeah, so I miss theater a lot. The last show I did before quarantine happened was Ragtime, and life-changing show. And
oh my gosh.
So I miss it a lot. I think about it every day.
And pardon me if you said this before, but are you an actress by profession now, or do you have a different job?
I'm both. So I have a regular job, temporary job, but performing is what I want to do full time. So
good girl. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And where did you grow up?
I grew up in a city called Altadena, California. It's right next to Pasadena. Grew up there. Okay. And then 5 years ago, my parents and I moved to Santa Clarita. So we're here in the LA County. So
okay. And I think our friend Talia just said that you're amazing. I couldn't read the whole comment, but I guess you know Talia.
I do.
One of my favorite people on the planet.
She's amazing.
Okay, enough bragging about Talia. Let's get to you singing. That's what we're all waiting for.
All right. I'm using a track, so hopefully it turns out okay.
Are you doing a wishing?
I am, yes.
Good.
Yes.
And what are you doing the whole thing? Are you starting somewhere else?
Starting from Passing Bells and going to the end.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna follow along.
All righty. There you go. Hopefully this works. And scolded angels, cold and warm, and sing for you the wrong companions. You were warm and gentle. Too many years fighting back tears. Why can't the past just die? Wishing you were somewhere here again, knowing we must say goodbye. Try to forgive, teach me to live, give me the strength to try. No more memories, no more silent tears, no more gazing across the wasted
Good job, Brittany. That was stunning. Oh my gosh. Was it the connection, or did you diminuendo the final note?
I honestly was just trying to make sure I had enough breath for that last one.
I'm sure my cackle out loud let you know that was very pleasing. It is not traditionally what's done, but it was gorgeous. If I'm hearing what I think I heard, which I was. Very, very good. I wonder, as we progress through, can we do it without the track? Just to open ourselves up to less strict, rigid tempo?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Really, really strong voice, really great placement, nice support. Right off the bat, in Phantom, we use what's called, the show is set in France, but we don't use French accents, for sure. We don't quite use British. We don't quite use like American, US American. We use what's called mid-Atlantic. So it's kind of like, I don't know what it is, but it's what we use, and it's that sound you know. So instead of passing and not pausing, but can it be the child of the two? Passing. So I spell things in my head. I think it's a weird tick I have. But to me, passing is P-A-Y, passing. And then pausing is P-A-H. But we want P-A-E. Passing, passing bells. So I know everybody doesn't have a brain like mine and you don't spell things out loud, but that's the clearest way that I teach things like this. So we want this mid-Atlantic ah vowel that's not aw, like a Brit, and not ah, like me, but passing bells and sculpted angels. Now there are a lot of consonants in the word sculpted, especially the P and the T, and they sing fast, but great singers can get them all in there. I'm just running through a list of things I circled in the score. The word cold is best when hit with a hard K sound. Cold, yeah? Really give me that K sound there. Strong companion, everyone's gentle, beautiful, nice, nice. Same thing for you on those triplets. Too many years fighting back tears. You're not necessarily putting emphasis on a syllable of the word that makes sense. This is for singing. Too many years fighting back tears. It's length on the middle note. That's really what it is. It's not necessarily a pressure or a volume increase. It's length. They're supposed to be D, dot, dot, D, right? They're supposed to be even. A computer would do that. You're better than a computer, and you can do too many years fighting back tears. Here's another ah vowel. Why can't the past, not past, not past, but past, must or just die? There's another aspirative T followed by a dentalized D. Yeah. Okay. So this is all text work, isn't it? Why can't the past just die? That's a lot in there. It's a workout. Now, when you aren't working with the track, you can do things like this. Wishing you, the next phrase, wishing you were the G, some, or the F, I can't really read the score. Wishing you were somehow big fermata or a rallentango, and a portamento into the next here again, right? Wishing you were somehow here again. Land us on here, and that's when the orchestra catches you back. Okay. I'm gonna get one more phrase in, and then I'm gonna have you do it again. Okay. Knowing we must say goodbye, on the words say goodbye. In my score, there is a retardando written in there, and I think it's useful because it's the thing she doesn't really want to do, and she's hesitant about saying it. Mm-hmm. So your track didn't allow for it, but maybe if you're doing it a cappella, you can. So let's go back to the top and see how well you listen. No, I'm just kidding. Just incorporate one or two of those things.
Okay.
Starting right off with passing bells. It's like a British ah, but it's flattened. Passing bells. You can do it.
Passing.
Say it again.
Passing, right?
Think about the soft, even though the soft palate should be lifted for the sound, think about the vowel being a little lower. Passing bells. Yes, it's what you just did.
Okay.
There's E infused in it. There's just a little E infused in it.
Okay. Alrighty. I'm gonna look at my score because I have it with me.
Me too. Yeah, do it. Yeah.
Visualize it. Okay. Passing bells. Sorry.
That's okay. Let's start that over and take a nice low breath before you deliver the P, and don't let too much air escape on the P.
Okay. Passing bells and sculpted angels, cold and monumental, seem for you the wrong companions. You are warm and gentle.
Good. Pause right there. Very, very beautiful. Lovely tone. I say this a lot. It's one of my mottos. Every letter counts. So you were cold and gentle. The woman's name that I learned all this from, Andrew's music supervisor here in the States, her name is Kristen Blodgett. She's an angel on earth. And she would come to you and say, remember, and is a full word, and a gentle. That's what she would say. And then I had an idea, passing bells, Luftpause, which now everybody knows what that is. It's a little lift pause before, and the sculpted angels. And notice it's, and the sculpt. So sometimes we call those shadow vowels in choir. We can use that term here, except we're not all doing them together. So let's pretend those notes have been taken, which I'm sure they will be next time. And let's go on to too many years.
Okay.
Or would you like to start from the beginning? Up to you.
I can go from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Passing bells and sculpted angels, cold and monumental, seem for you the wrong companions. You are warm and gentle. And then, too many years fighting back tears. Why can't the past just die? Wishing you were somewhere here again, knowing we must say goodbye.
Good. Same thing here.
Try to forgive, teach me to live, give me the strength to try. No more memories, no more silent tears, no more gazing across the wasted years.
Good. Pause there. Pause there. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Just doing what I just did a second ago. Both of those no mores there have tenuto marking. So it can be no more memories.
Oh my goodness. No! I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I left the meeting for a few minutes. Who knows?
Computer, I cannot. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. That's okay. I was just going to say the next one is the same thing. It can have not as much. It's not as dramatic. But, so the first one was no more memories, no more silent tears, 2 T's there. And then the next one is no more gazing across the wasted years. Yeah. So you can have a little tenuto on both of those no mores.
Okay.
And there was one other thing. I wasn't, back at passing bells and sculpted angels. Can we lift that vowel instead of sculpted?
Wait, say that one more time.
Yeah, it's not about lowering the jaw, it's about lifting the soft palate. So it's not sculpted, but it's sculpted. It's almost like you're going to say scalloped potatoes, but you flatten it out a bit. The same thing true for monumental. Cold and monumental instead of tall, which doesn't sing very well.
Okay.
Okay.
That technically be like a brighter sound? Is that what you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. to me, it's taller and brighter. Taller from the inside and brighter, for sure.
Oh, if I'm writing that in the score, just to kind of like help me to remember that, is it, would I write ah?
I would, yeah. If I had that note, I would write AH, yeah.
Okay.
And probably a smiley face over it to think, not that the word, or not that the feeling is happy, but the breath sound is monumental, right? And so tall.
Okay.
Beautiful. Let's see. Oh, and then the word wasted. No more silent tears, 2 T's. No more gazing across the way. Did I go away again?
Went away for a second.
Am I back? I'm
You're
good.
back.
Okay. It should be wasted, EH, wasted instead of wasted or anything else. Wasted. So I'd write EH over that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Wasted years, right?
Yeah. Yes, that was gorgeous. I love that. And now, just for fun, end us on a high note, and let's sing from letter P. Help me say goodbye. Help me say goodbye. And remember, good. Give me a D with a little shadow vowel. Goodbye. Both times.
Okay. So it's almost like I'm not saying the D. It's just kind of like.
Oh no, you're definitely saying the D.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's like you're saying the D a little bit too much. I mean, like you should be saying it too much. Help me say goodbye. Instead of help me say goodbye, where they're connected. Goodbye. Help me say goodbye. You know, and then you can crescendo or diminuendo, whatever you want to do. Just do something with it.
Okay. And you want me to repeat that line?
I want you to do, well, let's just sing the score twice, right?
Okay.
Do us exactly what's in the score.
Okay. Help me say goodbye. Help me say goodbye.
Yes. You know what? I think for our money, it's more thrilling with the orchestra if you, again, start the last goodbye a little softer and grow to a forte.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to be supported under the orchestra better than anything else.
Okay.
And then you're saying goodbye, just say goodbye, and then give me an E at the very end. That diphthong of I, just ride that first vowel as long as possible, goodbye. And then give me the smiley E the last second, right before the cutoff.
Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Try the last phrase one more time, then we gotta go.
Okay.
Just that last, help me say goodbye.
Okay. Help me say goodbye. I don't know if that sounded better.
I love that. No, I love that. That was so musical, and I know that the orchestra could follow that very easily. Stunning. Thank you, Brittany.
Thank you so much, Bronson. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That was great. So we're at 8:35. Bronson, what would you like to do about Q&A? We can end now. I just, again, want to be respectful of your time.
I'm sorry. Let's see. I'm happy to stay as long as anybody has a question.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can. You go ahead and start asking me a question. I'm gonna see if I can rejoin on my laptop.
Okay.
Can I get another request from you? Can you hit again?
Yeah. We got a few questions, so I'll start.
Okay.
The first one was, hi Bronson, I'm a senior about to graduate and start auditioning for college musical theater programs. I have aspirations for a professional regional theater and hopefully even be able to book tours or Broadway. What's the biggest piece of advice you can offer to someone taking their next step into their theater journey?
Let me answer that. Continue. Yes, here we are. Okay, I think I'm joining you elsewhere. Am I in here twice? Let me see. Okay, so my advice would be, guys, I'm so technologically savvy.
I think you are in here twice. Let's see.
Okay. Am I still here?
Yes. You're still here.
Can you all hear me?
Yes. We
Okay,
can
good.
see you.
So you can't see me?
I can't see you.
I can see him.
Oh, you can see him?
I can see you.
Okay.
We can see
Well,
you.
if you can hear me, that's good enough.
I can hear and
Okay.
see.
So my advice for that is to know that theater
He cut out, right?
Yeah, I can't hear him.
Okay. Technical
I
difficulty.
think
I don't know what happened. I think Bronson, are you here?
I'm really. Okay. Am I here now?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. For real? I'm here.
you're good. You're good.
Oh my gosh, so funny. Okay, I'm just gonna hold this thing like this. So, my advice is to know that theater is a science as much as it is an art. There is a technique to it. There is a way to do it right and healthy, and there's a way to do it unhealthy. And you want to choose, obviously, the healthy route so that you can do it 8 times a week. And what does that mean? That means education and learning. It's paramount. This craft is taxing on the smallest muscle groups in your body to your entire body system. So what does that mean? It means you need training. You might have a natural voice. You might have great dance ability. That doesn't mean you're ready to have people pay to watch you perform in any healthy, viable way. So what I encourage, that doesn't mean you have to go to the most expensive conservatory in the world. It just means invest in your craft. Invest in a voice teacher, invest in movement training, invest in acting training. Don't just do this because you love it. Do it because you love it and you've trained for it and you're good at it.
That was great advice. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The next question was, I was wondering if you ever experienced shaking during a song because of anxiety, and if you have any advice for dealing with it.
I do. I have a natural kind of I'm never still. My foot's always moving or my hands are always moving. And so I like to play characters that can use that. And so it's kind of okay for the Phantom to shake and be angry and things, but I do get nervous. And you know what? I think nervousness is a very beautiful thing, because it means when you get nervous and ready, when you're giving a speech, or if you're singing somebody's birthday party, or, if you're performing for anyone, you being nervous means you care enough about the thing you're doing to get your heart rate and blood pressure up about it. And I think that's healthy. And I think the day that I don't get nervous before a show is probably the day I'll decide to retire, because it probably means I've quit investing myself into it. So to combat that, I, number one, think about my breathing. I actively concentrate on my breath. That calms all of the systems of your body. Number two, I rely on my training, because I've spent many years and many, many dollars getting all this in a place that's usable in the artistic world. And I know those people that came before me and taught me this were smarter and more talented than I am, so I can rely on their training, me, to get me through whatever obstacle is about to come. So that's the two ways to look at nerves. It's a great thing that shows that you care about what you're about to do. And also it's the thing that can be ignored when necessary, because you've got a foundation and training and a system that has proven works for you. If you're nervous, if you're nervous that you're going to forget the lyrics to a song, or forget your lines, or forget what scene is next, that's your problem for not being prepared. That's it. That's the cold, harsh reality. But that's not you being nervous that you're not going to be good. That's you being nervous you didn't prepare enough. And that's not acceptable.
Thank you.
That was so helpful. Thank you.
Yay.
What'd you say?
So I said that was so helpful to hear.
Oh, good.
The next question was, have you ever had a cold for a show and try not to sound nasally? How do you overcome that?
Yes. This is not a proud moment, but I have done both Phantom of the Opera and Love Never Dies unknowingly with strep. I don't know how or why I was able to do it, again, relying on the foundation of technique and not just kind of blowing air. I've definitely done that. And you know what? At the end of the day, this is going to sound so ridiculous, but like, you'll have to believe it in the moment. You being in the audience on a Thursday night, you don't know what I sounded like yesterday. So if I sound a little bit more nasally, or if tonight my Phantom has a sniffle, that's real for you in that moment. It would be more annoying for you to watch me try to suppress all that than just to accept it and let it come through. Maybe the Phantom has a cold that time of year. Who knows, you know? So like, obviously you want to do what's healthy and you want to do what best serves the work, but you don't want your whole show to be you hiding the fact that you're not feeling well. If you're not feeling well enough to do it, bow out. You know what I mean? So yes, I've done it. Yes, I found out that I had strep after, and yes, I called out of the next show, but just to protect the rest of the company. But again, I relied on technique and placement so that I didn't damage anything.
Thank you. I think we're going to wrap up with this last question, which is,
okay.
I don't sing at all, at least not anything I'd want other people to hear. What advice would you have on getting from singing in the shower proficiency to actually singing well? Like, where should I start?
Oh gosh, well, that's easy. Training. Just like I don't know how to knit, but if I wanted to start learning how to knit, what would I do? I would probably find a teacher. If that's a YouTube video, that's a YouTube video. But I think as with anything, as with any science, as with any craft, any art, you have to be taught how to do it. So if that means joining a choir, great. If that means taking private voice lessons, great. If that means taking group voice in college as an elective, fantastic. Surround yourself with people who know what you want to do and learn from them. Learn their technique, learn their craft. Again, it doesn't have to be, $50,000 semester conservatories. It could be your local YMCA's community chorus or something like that. Just get out there, do it, and do it with people who know what they're doing so that you can pick up and learn and get better at doing what you say you want to do.
Thank you so much, Bronson. And thank you everyone that came on. If you want to unmute and say thank you, feel free to, now's your chance to.
Thank you so much, Bronson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
This is the most helpful class I've ever had.
Bronson. Thank you, Bronson.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. It's great to see you.
Thank you all so much.
Oh gosh, this is very kind. I would invite anyone who learned something or liked something. If you ever have any more questions, find me on Instagram, BronsonBiz, @BronsonBiz, and DM me. Tell me you were at this class and ask me the question that you didn't quite get to sneak in. Let me know. Let me know what you learned, because your all's feedback helps me teach better too. So Instagram's the best place to do that, I think, or my website. But I really appreciate the opportunity, and hopefully we can do it again sometime, maybe.
Yeah. I just put his handle in the chat.
Oh, thanks.
Bronson, if you'll stay on for a minute just so I can talk to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
Bye. You are my favorite actor ever. All of them were absolutely amazing. I love
I don't know who's saying that, but I really appreciate it.
Jenna did.
Jenna, thank you, Jenna.
And I'm not gonna lie, I named my beta fish after Phantom, but your picture is on his tank.
I appreciate that very much. What's his name? Is his name Phantom or is it Eric?
It's Phantom.
Oh, okay. Very good. Well,
My
I'm sorry he has to look at my face all the time, but I guess it could be worse. I don't know. Could be better.
Well, whenever I put on your songs or whatever, like
Yeah.
your face runs around faster. He's happy.
He likes the music, huh?
He loves the music.
Excellent. Somebody answer your phone.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh.
All right, bye guys.
Okay, bye everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bronson. God bless.
Bye.
Everyone's signing off slowly.